they don't got their facts right. You see what I'm saying? Because why would I expose certain things and blow the lid off of it and then be somewhere being complicit with these activities? I've been trying to tell people that there's a conspiracy going on.
Real life. If that shit ain't real life,
it ain't real life. Just ain't real. Real life street stars. You know what time it is.
Real life street stars. Y'all put it together. Once again, the champ is here. Let's go, man. We got BH in the building, man. Big Homie.CC. Welcome, sir. How you feeling in Dallas?
I feel good, man. I'm back home, man. We back. I'm excited.
Man, the last conversation, of course, we want to pick right back up with that. But before we even get there, because I know we're going to talk about the West Coast stuff, but we got to kick it off, man. Your name started ringing bells about a week and a half ago, man, where it came up in a lawsuit where you see Sean Diddy Combs, you see Jaguar Wright,
right?
A bunch of other people, and towards the bottom, they got Big Homie.CC.
Right.
That is so out of left field.
Yep.
But for those that don't know what we're speaking on, can you speak on what that lawsuit is, when it was, and what is it pertaining to as far as they're saying happened?
Yeah, so I could speak about it. So basically, they tried to file this lawsuit last year, 2 different times. The last time that they amended it was in October of last year. I had to pay a bunch of money to get my name omitted from it. But this time, they was able to get it passed. They don't got their facts right. You see what I'm saying? Because why would I expose certain things and blow the lid off of it and then be somewhere being complicit with these activities? I've been trying to tell people that there's a conspiracy going on. Once word got out about what me and my team did about combating human trafficking, and after I did the Hillbilly show out there in California, things have been very, very strange. This is my proof that there's a conspiracy. Because, throughout history, my reign of terror on weirdos is solidified. I might have been, firearms may have been pointed at certain people for doing funny things, you know what I'm saying? But that right there is just complete nonsense. Like, they don't got their facts right. Like, have I been in altercations with them? Yeah. I've been telling everybody. I've been saying it. But that right there, that's weird. That's not how all of that took place. You feel me? I never worked for the Zest monster, man, not one time. Not one time that I ever worked for dude. I never got no check from him. You feel me? But that African dude that be with him, that bald head dude, he ain't no joke. You can't play with him. He hit me in the head with a bottle. He a problem. So the dumb had to come out with him. You feel me?
Because people question kind of your history about Diddy.
Right.
You have been, as far as around people who's been around him, you have been around situations where people maybe were about to go either meet him, go to a party, do something. How far in the vicinity were you from as far as a party, just studio, just end up just being in the mix of what he is?
Yeah, so I only seen the guy as I'm being the protection for somebody that attended the events. As far as getting close to him, yeah, I could have reached out and slapped him if I wanted to. You feel me? Like, very that close. Like, I never, ever did business with him. So, like, I have seen him several times because the who's who, that they run in certain crowds. You feel me? Like, the first part of his parties be cool. It'd be a normal, socializing mixer. It's the different layer of the party where things start to get murky. You feel what I'm saying? And yeah, that type of stuff I wasn't involved in. When the vampires started walking in, what I'm saying, like the white guy with the sticky hair, and the male sex workers, cake's finna start getting touched. I'm going to the car now. You know what I'm saying? Call me if it's dangerous. I'll come in and start demonstrating. Underneath that, because he ain't no pushover. He a tough cake toucher. You feel me? Like, he get on some gangster shit with you. And then want to, you feel me? Get a little physical. It's like, man, hold on, dude.
Tough cake toucher is
He a
wild.
tough cake toucher on bro Graham. He is.
Did you ever run into Chopper City?
Man, bro, you know, I was working at this strip club in Vegas called Club Lacey's, and I had some, man, as soon as he walked in, he seen me. I was like, man, what's up? We greet each other. He had tipped me $100 and said, just follow me throughout the night. You feel me? So I would see him up there. He was a cool dude, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people showed him respect, shit like that. I definitely had encounters with him in Vegas, working at that club, Lacey's Gentlemen's Club, for sure.
Yeah, because he mentioned that what he was kind of saying was like the money kind of made Diddy gangster. Can you see that?
Right. So what I realized is like a lot of times in that industry, the money gave guys power and influence, not their reputation and the history of things they've done or their affiliations. So, and then, you know, when you drinking alcohol all day,
Right.
popping pills, you got 20 million in the bank, you got security,
Right.
you know, you're around all these tough gangster rapper people all the time,
Right.
you may start thinking you like that.
Right.
And you gotta be kind of tough. You asking grown men, you feel me, pull their drawers down, you feel me? So, you see all them guys crying in that interview
Right.
with Vlad?
Day 26.
He taking everybody cakes, vicious.
Right.
They all just going for it. Goofy as hell. Yeah, goofy as hell.
Chopper City also mentioned, he said, when you get to a certain wealth, right? He said, what rich people look at cocaine like it's candy.
For sure.
It's not taboo.
Not taboo at all.
Yeah, it's just this is candy.
It's
like,
normal.
It's normal.
You just gotta think about it. One bag of it is like $200. You feel me? You can't have no cocaine habit if you're not getting money.
Right.
You feel me? An ounce of weed, you can get an ounce of weed, what, $200?
Right.
An ounce of that, $2,000? You see what I'm saying? Like,
right.
depending on, you know, certain little levels and differences, but you can't have that type of habit. And you gotta be a very mentally strong person to have a habit like that. And your moral compass don't change as well. So
Right. Do you think that cocaine could have played a lot in the way Diddy moved?
No, I think it's ecstasy.
Mm.
Because, you know, all of the guys I knew who did ecstasy a long period of time, all got caught having sex with a tranny.
Right.
You gotta think about it, but before the X pills, bro,
Yeah, right.
a lot of niggas turned gay after that.
Right.
That's a fact.
What do you think is in ecstasy that makes niggas want to explore more past what the usual is?
So the chemical breakdown, MDMA is what it is. You know, they used to prescribe MDMA to married couples to spice up their relationship. They used to give it to soldiers who had PTSD to treat them. So, you know, they call it the love drug.
You seen what was that Bad Boys 2 with Martin Lawrence? He popped that in the wheels.
I saw that.
Yeah, so you know.
So you've been doing ecstasy 20 years?
Gotta do it.
It's cracking. It's cracking. You go in his crib, you know what's going down.
I have to ask, with that lawsuit coming out just yesterday, I think yesterday or maybe today, a lawsuit, one lawsuit got overturned or dismissed, whatever. So it's starting to come down where the lawsuits are just not holding. Do you see more of that coming? Because I think Diddy just gets hit. He got hit with like so many at one time. Do you feel like some of these are just witch hunts and they're gonna get knocked down? Judges gonna be like, man, y'all just everybody chasing the dollar bill right now.
There's definitely more to come. I got another one coming. Yeah, it's this guy, like he don't got these fingers on his hand right here, and he's saying I'm the reason he don't got them. So, you know, I know that's coming soon. He was.
It's just, when Diddy's lawsuit, I mean not Diddy, but Jay-Z's lawsuit got dropped by the Tony Busby guy, with, you know, the whole 13-year-old girl stuff, and she's saying that I was put up to doing it. Again, I remember we talked about it, but did you see even that? Like, man, this is just...
I said this in a Cam Capone interview. I said I said it was gonna go away. I know the games these people play, bro. I done been with so many different celebrities. A lawsuit to come. I just seen the little $55,000 payment go out so many times because it's cheaper to just settle for that than fight it over a period of time. But when I seen Hov come out and say, I'm not giving you a red cent, and it's not a letter drafted by an attorney, I seen him, he wrote this on his notes on his own, and he said, if this is the case, charge me criminally. I knew it was gonna have to go away. And now you see he didn't countersued them for $20 million. He got money to fight you all year long for years at a time. I knew it wasn't gonna go nowhere. He too calculated, bro.
That's crazy.
You don't get to that billionaire status and you ain't on point, man.
Well, Kanye.
He was on
said
point.
He was.
He feel like he fighting evil right now.
Yeah, he's fighting something.
I'm fighting. You going against the Matrix.
So the swastika, when he comes out with that, can you give us a little bit of...
See, the thing with that is this, right? The swastika throughout history was not used as a term of hate. You know, it was always a religious, supernatural symbol. It never became evil until the German guy, the Fuhrer, got his hands on it. Once he got the Fuhrer is Hitler's other name. So once he got his hands on it, that's when it became that ideology of hate and became anti-Semitic. The problem Kanye is having is he felt like he would call himself Michelangelo. You know, he told me he sees the world as art. He says the world is his muse. He sees the world in colors. So a lot of the things that he does is symbolic in nature. Like when you see him walking around with the Bianca Sensori lady and she's naked, you know why he's doing that? Because during slavery times, white slave owners would walk around with the voluptuous built ladies naked like that everywhere as a sign of power. So he's doing that as a middle finger to them. He does a lot of things symbolically. Look, I know a lot of people, man, and he one of them. So, you know, he feels like he should have a lot more power and control with the money he's made and all the designs he's created. And he feels like a certain group of people is holding him back from doing that, from getting more powerful. So he feel like he's fighting evil.
Does he really deserve more power, though? Has he actually acted as responsible as he should with the power that he already has?
Well, you know, when you hear a guy say he's not bipolar, he's a superhero, that can make you question certain stuff. Like, all right, man. When you start seeing guys compare themselves to like certain people, and whenever I see an artist go to the Christian route, they always feel like they got problems with the Jewish community.
Right.
Because those people, if one Jewish person is going to spend $1 million, 10 Jewish people are going to get paid throughout that process. And they don't play about that. That's their culture. And he feels like that's stopping him from being a larger champion of industry.
It was crazy. When you mentioned Kanye, I want a quick side note. Do you know much about AB, Antonio Brown?
Yep.
I watched an interview last night. It was a young videographer talking about how he was hired to do a commercial for Donda Sports. And he said, you know, he shot the commercial for AB and he never paid him his money.
Right.
He was like, he was trying to chase Antonio down for his bread. He said he ended up at the hotel with him. It was him, Kanye, and AB. He was in his room. He said he busted in the AB room and he was just coked out staring at the floor. And he's like, bro. And then he said they left us at a restaurant with a tab of $24,000.
Yeah. Okay. This is shit like that is why I came to the internet in the first place. Cause bro, you would go somewhere with some famous dudes and they were like, killer man, cover this right here and we'll pay you. I'm looking like, okay.
And that's what I was. Have you ever been in a situation where a famous person tried to play you or finesse you?
Yes, that's why I came to the internet, because I say once niggas see Now I'm doing interviews. Everybody who owed me money is gonna pay. But once my last 2 NDAs expired, I went to Camp Capone and I showed him all of my receipts. He was like, damn. He called me, look, can we do this tomorrow? He flew me out, rushed me out there. As soon as it dropped, I get a FedEx next day air of a check. I get that to my mama. She's like, son, you feel me? Because, bro, they play crazy games like that. I never forget. We at this restaurant called Mastro's. This one motherfucker order a bottle of wine that's like 18 grand by itself. One sip, it's nasty. I'm like, man, what is this? I'm like, hold on, man. I'm not putting on for this bottle. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, oh, man. So look, he give me a watch. He said, hold this watch, man. Yo, I left my card and all of this type of shit. I'm like, man, all right. So I started taking pictures of the watch. Shout out my jeweler, Neil. I'm sitting to Neil like, man, make sure this watch check out for what it is. The watch checked out. I'm like, okay, cool. All right. You feel me? I swiped my card. You feel me? The rest of the tab ended up being like 32 grand, something like that. So, you know, I'm not making them type of purchases like that. So as soon as I swipe for it, decline, they call my phone. American Express called the phone. I got to send pictures of IDs and all kind of shit. So the shit went through and everything was smooth. I started hitting food up to get my count. You know what the man gonna tell me? He say I should be thankful that he allowed me to be in security. So a lot more things got taken from outside of the watch, you know what I'm saying? And like once those things was retrieved from him, we was able to, so people in his family ended up sending Dugas some money as well on the Zelle. And then we was able to rectify that situation. But that happened all the time, bro. All the time. All the time.
Now, again, I don't want to put, to go back to Kanye, I don't want to put him on the spot, but I got to put him on the spot because Iggy Azalea went at him saying, I'm going to let it out that I believe, I don't say he tried to holler at her, but he was asking her dude at the time, this is years ago, but like, hey, how is he in bed and stuff, Someone asking how the next man is that Zest? Is that Zestivities? Is that Zest monster activity?
See, what we experiencing right now is a Zest apocalypse. And we got to all be very careful because I just seen a video where 5 black men went to jail for having a twerkathon at the traffic light and stopping traffic. Like, this is the zestiest era in history. And once you get like your doctorate in zestology, you can see when a zest monster immediately walk in the room. So that's why like I feel like we gotta, don't you know how like the vampires used to die from a stake?
Yeah.
We gotta start having like a spray or something. You feel me?
Like, get off.
I'm gonna invent a zest monster spray.
Come on, man.
So as soon as they walk in, you just spray them and they fall out. We need that.
I guess it's called Gen Z for a reason.
I got a question though. Why did you tell Charleston White that I took a bullet for Orlando Brown? Why would you say that, man?
So let's play it like this because you took a bullet for. Have you ever took a bullet for somebody?
Yes.
Have you been?
I sent you the footage.
I seen the footage. Have you been in the vicinity of Orlando Brown?
Yes.
Did you help him out of a situation or anything of that nature? And ever in life?
He was renting a room from somebody. He said Michael Jackson was going to pay his rent. His royalty checks wasn't coming. So they called me to drag him out the crib. That's where I seen him at. And when we got outside the spot, he started freestyling to me for like an hour. He told me Michael Jackson told him he was the best rapper alive. And he started getting kind of agitated because they was waiting for him to bring his stuff out the crib. He couldn't go back in. And he'll fight you. So once I seen he was trying to have a little tussle, phone them and roughed him up a little bit. But don't nobody want to hurt Orlando, bro. You don't want to hurt a fool, but he'll get wild with you though. As soon as he see me in the gas, demon! I'm like, dude, bro, I hate to see him coming, bro.
So with that being said, and again, I got to say it because I got that story misconstrued. When you showed me that, we talked about that Orlando Brown within the same conversation. So somehow I put that two together that was the same incident. And I told Charleston White, which I got to apologize because that was totally wrong. And I believe that I would hate for someone to come to you, whether hearing it through the world, saying, aren't you the one who took a bullet for Orlando Brown?
That's crazy work. You gotta be the goofiest man alive. You stupid man with the stupid plan.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I apologize, Charleston. If you hearing, I'm gonna send it to him.
Okay.
I got that wrong, Charleston. Don't go spreading that word when you hear about Big Homie because he didn't want to meet you. He said he heard about you and he wanted to meet you. So
man, don't he stay out here?
Yeah, he's Dallas-Fort Worth. So
man, set that up for me, man, because we got to get Maverick up here in a second. But
oh yes, no, we
I want to ask one more question. When we had agreed to do the stream with the Wack100 police force and the rest of the federal investigators on his team, and then he brought the other informant who is convicted of beating up several females in Chicago, the guy Lenny West, who they call Coffee. When you see me bullying all of them, because my brand got damaged by y'all feds because they wanted to see me crash out against the fake gangster police guys. So when I got on the stream, I jumped off because I'm like, these guys are the cops. They're going to record. All they do is police tactics. Wack said he worked for the FBI in his Vlad interview. Luce Cannon is doing things on camera that will get you a prison sentence, and he's on the street. You seen the guy 600 on the phone with them when they called me. He down at the police station getting a custom badge. And you see what I'm up against.
I don't think we saw it at the time.
This shit is. I can agree with that. But the thing is, though, you don't communicate as good as Rook. You see what I'm saying? So that's what was causing the discrepancy between us. I'm like, hey, man, this man, bro, when I ran into them at the Las Vegas Convention Center.
You introduced us to Luce right before that.
Yes, because he the one got me my No Jumper interview. They've been trying to line me ever since then.
Yeah, he like Street Stars over here.
When I see them at the Las Vegas Convention Center, the feds was there surveilling the whole thing, watching in the building.
So, so I just watched something a little earlier. It was Wack100 talking to the mother of the deceased rapper. Yeah. And she was basically telling him how Biggie was going to get arrested at the beginning of March, towards the end of March or in the beginning of April. How much police activity is Wack really involved in? Like, as we see, he was the only one that hasn't been picked up by the feds.
The man is getting unsealed paper. He's getting people's cases that's sealed, unsealed, which I thought was impossible. He's getting it and then dropping the paperwork. How is that
possible?
How is that possible? How is it that you the one called Jay Reed and them up to No Jumper, set it up for Luce and them to attack them, and you're not indicted? How can you make terroristic threats he threatened Aaron the plumber's life on camera. Nothing happens to him.
Now, mind you, I would say, he can't be working for the laws.
He said he was.
Yeah,
in his Vlad interview, he said he worked for the FBI. Okay. That's why Big E was like, man, the man said he worked for the FBI. Why is y'all supporting him? So that whole 100 show is a team of informants and wire wearers. When I see them, man, all of them niggas was up in there The feds was in the building surveilling that. They got pictures of that. They had my mama job this morning. So when people saying, why Wack saying he gonna be standing next to your mama? I'm like, man, he don't know my mama. He's saying that because he the feds. He worked for the law. The FBI was at my mama's job this morning at the school trying to ask me some questions. Said, I'm not under no law. They want to ask me some questions about that situation because they trying to figure out if Luce Cannon had a firearm that day. He had a felony, shouldn't have no firearm that day. I got CCW. I don't have no felonies. I'm good.
How many people, if you don't mind, back in the Las Vegas situation were they with?
At least 15 people.
It's funny because I think about 15, 18 got indicted in the situation. Not saying that those were the guys, but
some of them was there.
When I see 600 post a video saying the laws is calling me to come up to the station, and he's gonna record the whole thing live. He goes up there. He's like, bro, I'm breathing heavy. he's like, they tell him, come on to the back. We got something for you. And he walks out with a gold police badge with a diamond in it. On the back, it got thank you 600.
Yeah, that's his inauguration.
Yeah, man, I don't think we've ever seen nothing like that as far as someone being even considered an informant or anything of that nature and get praised by the laws to where they ice you out.
It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. I told everybody I had attached the no jumper motherfuckers to a human trafficking ring, and what's the main charge on that? Human trafficking. I told everybody that. Because the matrix is real. Just like this situation with these structures being found underneath these pyramids, I'm the first person to say this publicly. I didn't know the extent. So that's why when Maverick get up here, he started to make this Maverick approach presentation, it's about to go up because this is groundbreaking information. How is it that structures taller than an Empire State Building is under the pyramids? How far did that shit go? There's too many conspiracies going on. And that's why I be coming under attack because I'm revealing a lot of stuff in a short period of time. I've only been on the internet 8 months now.
Right.
These guys have a whole informant show. They come out and they get people to incriminate themselves. This is the same COINTEL Pro, J. Edgar Hoover tactics that they use. It's the same thing. It's the same way they took down Huey P. Newton and the Black Panthers. The same way they took down the NFAC that got Jam Master Jay. All our black leaders go down because of these type of programs, and all of these platforms are complicit in it.
Right. It's so messed up because you could sit there and you could tell them in the camera, but yet they're still gonna go there.
They still finna take it there.
What can we do? What can we do to stop it?
That's why interviews like this is important. We have to start to raise the thought process in our community and start to get our people interested in different topics. That's why so many people was calling for the Maverick approach and myself to get together. They hashtagging Shaq and Kobe. They making all of these pictures and fan art. We go live on Saturday night, 12,000 motherfuckers watching on a Saturday night.
Yes.
We have to introduce our people to different topics and different things. Because if not, pardon me. Because if not, the circle of destruction will continue because the kids is watching this. They want to emulate the guys doing all the views crashing out, so then they're going to do it, and it just repeats itself. We got to do something different.
We about to bring Maverick in. I got to ask you real quick, though. When you see Adam 22 himself come up and say, for everybody who's thinking that I'm part of that situation as far as the indictment coming down with the RICO on Big U and everybody, he says, all I did was provide these guys opportunities. Everything they did was from old stuff, and everything I'm trying to do is get them legit money. Do you believe that from Adam 22 that he's only trying to make sure that these guys don't touch the streets and he doesn't benefit off of the gangster stuff that they either have done or is doing? I don't know.
He does benefit from it. It's all he ever wants to talk about. Adam Graham Mason, his father is a master Mason. He's a Mason. His father was pardoned by the Bush administration for committing crimes and illicit activities. His platform is a platform being used by three-letter agencies to target the youth and dumb down the population. No way around it. All of the Crips at No Jumper is in jail.
Damn.
I mean, all of for real. At one point or another.
All of the Crips that work at No Jumper are in jail.
Do you feel like they would be in jail if they weren't at No Jumper? Do you feel like...
Yes, they would be. They would not be on camera saying how many murders they got. They would not be on camera talking about they play with guns and you got convicted felons saying that they got to stay strapped at all times. Soon as they leave, they get followed and arrested.
Do you feel Big U, Bricc Baby, I think he got out the next day, loose cannon? I don't think they gave him a bond. Do you feel like this is the feds? Normally they have like a 96, 97% conviction rate. Do you feel like they got enough as far as they did their homework enough to say, we got these guys for, they say what, extortion, checking in? Like I think that was always been a thing that people talked about since the 90s. You got to check into the West Coast or we will extort you. Like it was almost like people just said it so loosely and freely. Is that a strong enough case to say, yeah, your peers will find them guilty of, let's say, a criminal empire?
It wasn't a strong enough case until Adam had Loose Cannon come onto the platform and explain all of the crimes he committed on Big U's behalf, allegedly. The dispensary robbery that got him indicted, he went onto the platform and told the exact story to Adam on the platform that Big U had to send a cease and desist to. He implicated Big U in several murders on a 4 million subscriber page, and you don't think this was a colonizer activity?
Yeah, because he controls that narrative.
Why do you think us as black people are so interested in being famous or cool that we would literally implicate ourselves in murders and drug activity and different things of that nature just for entertainment?
I feel like throughout the years, our people have seen the value in fame and they automatically attach it to money. And in our culture, where we come from, we have plentiful natural resources. You know, we like shining, we like gold, we like diamonds, we like jewelry. You feel me? Those things is in our nature, it's in our DNA. So when we see stuff like that, it gets paraded in front of the masses. And then I feel like in our culture, every black man of a certain age or woman has tried a music career or tried to rap at some point in time. It all gets attached together. But what happens is as soon as people start making traction to change the narrative and offer different topics and different things for us to do, they get taken down some form of fashion. And it goes back to the nonsense. It's happened over and over and over again. The only way to prepare for the future is to study history.
Right. Last question before we bring in Maverick. We see that there was arrest for the murder of Mo3.
Yes.
It turns out to be Yella Beezy for murder for hire.
Yes.
Right. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that is this. It's simple. Whenever, hold on, I gotta send my girl this address. She can't be waiting on play that shit. And now she know the homie up here too. She will pop up. All right. The question you asked me, how do I feel about Mo3, the death, and then seeing the arrest, and then they say allegedly Trap Boy Freddy is on the run.
Right.
When Yella Beezy was asked about this, he was very evasive about this on camera every time. Soon as the murder happened, you see Trap Boy Freddy pretty much having a celebration. You know, he was saying, who stretched out on the highway to get their shit together? They was popping bottles all night. This is how I know there's a conspiracy. Before the drill wave that started in my city became popular, people wasn't doing this type of shit in Texas, man.
No.
Somebody knew if we make this shit hot, we can remove generations of people of this skin tone. I had a coach tell me one time the best player has never played the game because he died gangbanging.
Right.
They accomplished this. The culture in my city is toxic, man. It's dangerous. With entertainment and music, it's spread like wildfire. So that's why nobody ever seen Wack and Luce get treated the way I was treating them. Because now I'm going to show y'all how we play. I'm going to call you every day, all day, like you my best friend. I'm going to beg you to pop out. But they start making critical errors because, you know, working in my field, if I'm going on a retrieval, I have to have relationships with certain people. I have to call and let people know, hey, look, I'm going to be operating out here. This is what's going on. If not, you just a vigilante and you can get booked. So we got to be very strategic. So I know when I'm seeing police tactics. I'm trained in this. I got hours of training, several certifications. So I'm like, wait a second. You recording phone calls? That's illegal. It's 2 consent state. If somebody don't have consent, that's a felony. How are they getting away with this? I'm like, oh. When I seen the guy, Luce Cannon, show up to the Look Who TV studios when we were filming a movie, and he put himself on camera making death threats to me, and he don't get arrested for that, I said, oh, they trying to rap me. We've been on an investigation before. This ain't nothing new to us. You see people on the internet, in the comments, they're all squares. You see what I'm saying? The YouTubers are revenge of the nerds. Because before this, you couldn't speak to nobody like me, man. You got to know somebody who knows somebody to reach me, man.
Right.
So I want everybody to know in the comment section, you don't know what you're looking at half the time. That's why you have to watch me very close and listen to what I'm telling you. Y'all thought that a bunch of police was really gangster. And y'all thought I was supposed to crash out for them on camera and argue with them and raise my voice. I'm a real gangster. I ain't raising my motherfucking voice. I live by a code. I took an oath, man of honor and principles first. We gotta get Maverick up here. It's busting now.
Right. Bro, and I just have to ask this because we right there. And this is definitely the last question. Why, can you explain the Chicago mentality of calling your op every day?
Yeah, I can explain it to you.
Yeah.
Because if I call you every day, eventually you're gonna make a mistake. You can't be on point 24/7. I wanna hear all the voices in the background. I wanna see the cabinets on the wall so I can Google image search that. I wanna see what clothes you got on. I wanna hear how your mama sound. I wanna make sure that you know that I'm thinking about you at all times. So now you're gonna wanna match that energy. So now you're gonna start calling me. What up, brother? I miss you. Yeah, I'm trying to get next to you, man. Where you at? And you hear somebody in the background, shit, we over here at the spot. Hey, man, shut your ass up. Gotcha. We'll see you. Oh, bro.
Right.
We'll catch you. That's what it's about, bro.
So that K.I. and King Von, was that?
Yeah. That's normal. That's how, if it's real smoke, Wack and them blocked me. Luce blocked me, Wack blocked me, Adam 22 blocked me.
How'd they get your new number though?
I only had the phone 3 days, they called it. That's why I said, all right, this the law here. So look, let's play ball then.
I ain't gonna lie, when I seen you call that nigga, that shit was the wildest shit. That nigga called that nigga on FaceTime. I was like, Jesus.
Oh yeah, this the top level, man. We finna see what you really on. I'm gonna look you in your eyes and see if you really on that. I can tell if you ain't. Cause if you was, we would bump.
Right.
Where I come from, boy, you say a man's name, you better be ready to die, shoot it out that day. Cause we will call you, we finna be over here, let's bump up. And we link. May the best man win. That's real gangster shit.
All right, well, let's
He's
get to
heating
it.
up.
Let's get to it. Man, we got to talk about the Maverick approach. As the Maverick approaches.
Uh-oh.
As the Maverick approaches.
Y'all been asking for this.
We've been
Y'all been
getting-
asking for this.
Yeah, again.
Mama, there goes that man.
Nah,
Turn your mic
this is
on.
probably one of the most. Oh, yeah, get your mic on because this might be one of the most important conversations of 2025 right now. We're about to get to it.
All right.
Maverick, if you don't mind, for the people at home and for those that's on the channel that is new to you, go ahead and reintroduce yourself. Tell them what you do, the platform you're on.
Yeah, so Maverick Approach. I've been doing content for about 2 years now, and I'm really behind the scenes. I'm a businessman, entrepreneur, and whatnot, but I got into this for that same reason you just said. There's a shift happening.
Like a motherfucker.
Okay?
Let's go.
All the goofies are leaving, and the real ones are coming in. I expose a lot of shit. This is why the CIA wants to hire me right now. And I'll tell you about that.
And I've seen proof of this. I got
Yes.
invited with him. You know,
And this is why they call me, see, we call it conspiracy theories, right?
Right.
I'm a coincidence specialist.
For sure.
Incident specials, I like
For
that.
sure.
Because there's a lot of fucking coincidences lately. And this is what BH does. This is what I do. So we got to connect the dots for people.
All right.
So that's what I do.
Let's get right to it. And I'm going to let, we probably, everybody got questions. Everybody got questions. But this is me personally, and this is kind of messing me up, and I'm kind of re-questioning my whole childhood and everything. Because I watched a video today that I always thought the moon landing was real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just like, it's on TV. They land on the moon. I mean, hell, there's satellites. I used to argue with guys. Satellites exist. Rocket ships. I mean, we live in Texas. NASA's right down the road on 45.
Right.
I've seen rocket ships go into the sky.
Right.
Of course, we all remember Sally Jesse, Ride, Sally Ride, all that.
Right.
Columbia, we know all that. So I'm like, well, they landed on the moon back in the 60s. Then someone broke down like, bruh, there's a camera already there. Like,
And how did they get the footage back?
how did they get the footage back, bro? How did they get a rope? I mean, they had so many questions, which I guess I never looked at it.
So they said that he was the first man, Neil Armstrong was the first man to step out on the moon. Where did the camera come from? So he wasn't the first one, right? How did they get the footage back? In that little tinfoil can that they came in, you mean to tell me I got more power in my phone, in this phone right here, than that whole entire operation?
Come on.
Is that what you're telling me?
And they haven't done it again.
And they haven't done it again.
And they're actually trying. I'm like,
I always tell people this. We went to the moon. They just didn't show the proper footage.
Have you ever seen that movie, Fly Me to the Moon?
I started it, didn't finish it, but it's definitely, I need to watch it.
They always show you in the movies. I always say that. So when it comes to movies, it's propaganda, okay? CIA is involved. The DOD has a film department called the Entertainment Media Fund at the Pentagon. They work closely with Hollywood, with script writers, producers, to depict things, that take things out of movies or put into movies. So they use media, movies, music, and we'll touch on, what's going on with, the podcast sector and all that, because all that has been infiltrated by the FBI and CIA for sure.
Yes.
Okay, so
A guy named Richard Doty, and Richard Doty was a person who would take information to all of the news, every news outlet, deliberately giving them false information. So, guy looking at Richard Doty.
Okay,
and you're going back to the movie Fly Me to the Moon, they're showing you without telling you, right? So they were taping a fake version while still trying to get to the moon for real. BH showed me a video of when they came back and had a press conference, and you could see it on their faces. They saw something that they didn't like.
And the press conference was the entire staff of astronauts, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, everybody who went and was a part of it. They're at the press conference and they all look very dejected.
That's because they faked it. In the real mission, they saw something. Somebody may have been there. I mean, BH, you already got some information on the moon. What's really on the moon?
Please. What's on the dark side?
Can we hold on? Can we talk about that? Because last time you told me, old boy who told you he ain't here no more.
Nope. And I said this in my initial No Jumper interview. Sergeant Carl Wolf, when he came to us for security, we turned the job down because it was just above our pay grade. A lot of weird things started happening. Cars getting randomly searched. My car getting towed. I'm going to go get it from impound and giving it back to me for free. None of the tickets they was giving me was showing up in no system. Sergeant Carl Wolf ended up going to go testify in front of Congress. He's currently deceased right now. He was jogging on a trail. A car veers off, runs him over, kills him. Nobody's ever arrested for it.
That's funny. Every time somebody gets killed by accident, it's by a car.
We just seen Angie Stone go.
And she's the only person out of 10 people who dies? And she just exposed UMG for stealing all her royalties?
So is it a transformer up there? No, I'm just.
I'll let him answer
that. Big Chopper City made an interesting. He had some interesting insight. He said, he asked us, did we believe in aliens? We said yes. He was like, have you ever wondered why we're trying to leave Earth?
I feel like,
go ahead.
I feel like really this is a project and we can't leave.
He believes that we are the aliens.
Okay. So
that was
pyramids you just talking about.
Right. And he says, he's like, don't you ever wonder why we're trying to leave Earth and nobody's trying to get to the bottom of the ocean?
Exactly. And why is it that, think about this. So the person who created the CIA, or not the CIA, the NASA, one of the leading scientists from Germany that they imported from Nazi Germany. On his gravestone is a Bible verse that says, behold God's handiwork in the firmament. Yeah. So that's what people were saying, that the firmament, why would the director of NASA have that on his gravestone? So even when you think about the firmament, it's supposed to be a glass dome, right? Mm-hmm. What is a rainbow? It's a prism. Mm-hmm. So when light reflects off a mirror, what does it do? It emulates whatever it's reflecting off of. So why is it a rainbow?
The one guy that always is on Joe Rogan says it's just because Earth is a sphere. That's why it creates a rainbow.
Could be. I mean, I think that.
And I keep forgetting, he's a genius black man, but I just can't remember his name at the moment.
You talking about Neil?
Yeah, okay, yeah, Neil.
DeGrasse Tyson? Yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is compromised.
I think it's compromised too.
Oh, wow.
He's like a new Bill Nye, and Bill Nye is compromised because he got the Medal of Honor from Joe Biden and all those collective people that got the Medal of Honor as well.
For people who don't understand what compromise is, what does that mean?
Compromise is a term that you use with somebody who is acting as like a double agent, like somebody who's working for this person but also working for this person.
I'm 22.
the agent Grand Mason,
Agent
22.
Smith.
So the thing is, right? Admiral Tim Gallaudet, who's a Rear Admiral, 3 stars in the U.S. Navy, his job was to map certain areas of the ocean. They detected that things they seen flying in the sky were coming directly from a location around the Catalina Islands on the ocean floor. He makes a presentation to his superior saying they're tracking these anomalous objects from the ocean floor up to outer space and back. Okay. Somebody else is occupying our moon that is not human intelligence. Government comes out and they say, when a guy from Lockheed Martin says, we have the technology to take ET home, but we don't go. Linda Moulton Howe has a book called The Alien Harvest, where she documented cattle mutilations over a 15-year period. Luis Elizondo has a book called Imminent. In this book, he shows implants that were removed from human beings. The isotopes and the metals in these implants don't exist anywhere on Earth. Dr. Roger Lear, rest in peace, who passed from a heart attack, has a book called The Alien Implant. Mm-hmm. They're removing implants from people's bodies that are made from metals not found on Earth that are sending signals off the planet to a satellite that's not made by human beings. This is all documented, proven to be facts. They say if you want to hide something, you put it in the book.
And then what did Neil say when he said they landed on the moon? What did he say when they landed?
He said we were shooed away from the moon.
And it rang like a bell.
He said when they landed, it rang like a bell. And he said they were shooed. Well, Buzz Aldrin said they were shooed away from the moon. He said when they landed, it rang like a bell for hours.
It means it's hollow.
Buddhist monks have a story from 12,000 years ago where there was no moon in the sky, and they described when it was brought here by a dragon.
Now, what does that sound like? I said the movies, right? So there's a little movie called Star Wars. In the movie Star Wars, what did they construct? The Death Star that looked like a moon. So could it be that they constructed the moon and brought it here from somewhere else?
Think about it. It's in a perfect place.
So hold on, because we talk about the firmament. We have 607 Unc on here. He mentioned the firmament. He also mentioned there's a wall in Alaska you can't get past. So if we are in a dome, then how is it that they can bring a moon or build a moon and put it up? Or is it just inside the dome with us?
Bingo.
Okay.
You think the moon is 250,000 miles away where we can see the encrustments on it?
Right.
You can see it with the naked eye. It's 250,000 miles away?
What about the sun then?
Well, they're saying the sun is a lot bigger.
Yeah.
So nobody can directly stare into the sun.
Okay.
It'll burn your retina.
Yeah, it'll burn your retina.
So how do we know when we're basing off the physics and laws that they're telling us? They're they're setting the stage for us. They're telling us shit and we're just believing it.
Well then, what does that make black people if we can feed off the sun and become more powerful?
Okay, going back to the movies, who does that sound like?
Superman. So are we Superman? Are we really from this planet? I don't want to go too deep out of it.
Well, no, here we go. Hold on. So, okay. So here you go. What did they just find? The pyramids of Giza. They found structures, like he said, bigger than the Eiffel Tower, bigger than the World Trade Center, bigger than any other structure. Burj Khalifa, the highest building in the world, it's taller than that, by far. It goes down 1.5 miles long, these structures that they found. Right. They use a new technology called ERT, which is a new technology that they can scan the earth using frequencies and vibrations that gives you an exact image of what's happening. Now, these structures have coils around them, okay, that go all the way down. So they don't know what it is. They don't know if it's some type of power source or it could be stairs. Either way, I made the parallel of this. When you're talking about structures, you're talking about ancient civilizations, this is far more advanced than we think. Now, when you're talking pyramids, there's also pyramids in East St. Louis that called monk mounds. This is in East St. Louis, Illinois. Now, this is 1300, 1400 AD, okay? And this civilization is called Chokia. And this civilization is near the Mississippi River. What other famous river in Africa is near pyramids as well?
Oh yeah, that now.
Oh, the Nile River. So what are we talking about? Are we talking about Africa being not just one continent? Are we talking about times of Mansa Musa where we dominated the earth at that time? Because there's pyramids all around the world. So these are hydroelectric conductors. This is why they're near water. So we're talking about an advanced civilization that we don't know where they came from or, you know.
So let me ask before I ask the next question. How often do y'all disagree or agree with each other?
Great question.
We very rarely.
Shaq and Kobe. That's what they call us.
They call us Shaq
I'm
and
throwing
Kobe.
it off the backboard. He's catching it.
Yeah.
For sure.
We're getting the rings.
Yeah, so you know, like this happened completely organically, like me and Maverick coming together like this. It's not often that I don't think we ever really disagreed.
No.
Yeah.
Because once you got your 10,000 hours put into this topic, you know, there are a bunch of unfamiliar truths that you independently come upon, pause, and then as you begin to put the pieces together, you're like, wait a second, you figured that out too.
Yeah.
Right. Because here's a very, very critical detail. There are pyramids on Mars.
Let's go.
Elon Musk recently posted a square structure that has been captured by satellite images on Mars. He says we need to send astronauts to go investigate. So 2028, those Tesla robots are going to be on a starship to go investigate that. Luis Elizondo said in his book, Imminent, imagine if you find a 747 plane inside of a pyramid. Bob Lazar is the gentleman who has been viral for years for working at Area 51, for exposing certain things about UFO technology, which is proven to be facts. He said the first crafts that they found were archaeological finds. And I asked people, like, how is it possible that the same type of technology is seen in the sky 2,000 years ago on cave paintings is still being seen today? So it gives more credence to the fact that when I hear people say firmament, to me, that means a created place, like a science lab, like a place where we're going to put all of these beings here and observe and watch. And FEDS has said, why is nobody looking at the bottom of the ocean? I know a guy who is very close to the Obama administration, right? And he says some of the things he learned made him not want to live anymore. There's a Cosmic Kev interview with a guy who has family in the CIA said his exact same words. He said, if people knew what existed at the bottom of the ocean, they want to kill themselves. They wouldn't want to be alive anymore. What could that be?
What could it be?
Right.
What could that be? Only 5% of the ocean has been mapped.
Correct. So let me ask this because
I have a that brings me to another interesting question. There was one story there was a young lady that was born blind. Her father was an obstetrician. He created her some special glass. There's this Instagram page where they just give you a bunch of crazy ass facts. It's called Zach something. Zach Films. He gives you a bunch of crazy ass facts.
Okay.
There were some glasses that were her father made for her daughter. When she put them on, what she saw was the world engulfed by a monstrous figure. And it was feeding on every living. And we're just, the earth is basically just the organism inside of this monster's mouth. And it's feeding, like, it was the ocean, it was everything. And it was just feeding on the planet. She said the vision was so horrifying. Not only did she take the goggles off, she ripped her own eyes out of her sight.
Damn.
Sheesh. So that's interesting.
I just when you said it made me think that when I heard the story when you said if people actually seen what was at the bottom of the ocean, they want to kill themselves because the vision was so horrifying. Mind you, she's blind, but the vision that she saw was so horrifying, she ripped her own eyes out.
Now, there's a story about in Afghanistan when we had that first war in War on Terror. There was a set of night vision goggles that they were using, but there was a red lens and it showed a different frequency, a different view. And soldiers were saying they were seeing monsters.
This is during the Vietnam War.
They said they were seeing monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So they went away from that technology simply because, human beings only see 4% of everything in front of us. I think that could be by design.
Right.
There's a 1 in a billion chance we live in base reality. I firmly believe that some UFOs come from outside of time because that's why the technology hasn't seemed to change in so long. And without a certain amount of bacteria in the ocean would turn yellow. Because without this amount of bacteria, it can't feed the plankton, which can't feed this fish. All of this seems very creative.
And how is it that a lot of stuff is predicted, right? So the same scientist that I was talking about that helped create NASA, he wrote a book called Project Mars. In this book, he says a person named Elon is going to lead humanity to an exploration to Mars. This is all in the book.
In the book. This exists. You can pull it up and fact check everything that we're saying.
We're going to speak about America, the government conspiracy, but seems like a worldly thing. When you look at Stonehenge, Easter Island, crop circles, things that, of course, people tend to forget. The average citizen, let's say, keep it in America, the average citizen tends to forget that these things exist and they don't question. I go back to asking, do we really want to know? Are we ready for what's coming, or is ignorance bliss? And we're just happy, being in the Matrix.
I think that everything is shifting right now. When it comes to exposing what's happening in the music industry, movies industry, like everything on a global scale, like especially with America. Think about it. We have this new political system that is shifting. We're going into a digital system. Right here in Texas, right now, they have not one, but 2 digital stock exchanges opening up. It's a brand new stock exchange by BlackRock and the New York Stock Exchange. They're going to digitize everything from stocks, real estate, cars. They're going to tokenize everything on blockchain. This is why Trump is pushing cryptocurrency, right? So we're going through a major shift financially. We're going through a major shift consciously, because since 2020, we can all agree shit has not been the same. It's gotten weird.
Black Mirror.
Right? Speaking of Black Mirror, what do we stare into all day? A phone. That's a Black Mirror.
Literally.
What's on the back of that phone? A bitten apple. Forbidden fruit. That's the downfall of man.
Facts.
So it's a lot of symbolism. And I got a story on Steve Jobs too.
I would love to hear that.
Where's the flaming sword?
Let's go. Let's dial back a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we can get crazy. We can get crazy. You know what
This under this ocean. But look. Let's talk about something that's happening that everybody can see. The planes crashing. What's going on? Why? All these planes out of nowhere.
Okay. Retired FBI agent John D'Souza said, after they declassified the UFO files, I said this to people, we're going to start seeing planes fall out the sky. Several contracts for high-speed railways have been approved. Chinese hackers any plane that has automated systems, just like that Black Hawk helicopter, there was no flight manifest for it, no casualties reported for the helicopter except for on the passenger plane that died. They hacked the helicopter, crashed it into a passenger plane. If you want people to buy your train tickets, if you want people to shift government money to build these very, very expensive railways, make them scared to fly on planes.
And that Black Hawk, they showed months earlier, that was by Lockheed Martin, that was a self-flying Black Hawk. So again, we have been compromised, and a lot of people in our government is working with China. Tell me why the former senior advisor to the Federal Reserve just got arrested a couple months ago working with Chinese nationals. Another US state official was caught taking bribes in Chinese money. This just happened. So we have definitely been compromised, and I call it the plane demic because it's crazy.
Let's go.
So think about it, right? And people want to blame this shit on Trump. No. This has been happening since last year.
Yep.
Last year of March. So you remember those 2 whistleblowers that got knocked off?
The Boeing whistleblowers, most of them are all dead now.
So Josh Dean, and John Barnett, the 2 whistleblowers that did quality control for Boeing, mysteriously dies. One's in a deposition, almost done, decides to go to his hotel and blow his brains out in his truck. Why? The other guy, he gets sick out of nowhere and just dies. It's a pneumonia. It's funny how people get either hit by a car, pneumonia.
I had pneumonia 3 times.
He got poisoned. So then after that, then we see all these planes start going down. And tell me why, going back to China, why does Boeing have a completion center in China for quality control? When they complete the planes, a lot of them actually go through China.
Making sure they get compromised before they get here.
It just doesn't make sense for a plane to even fall out of the sky or crash into another plane. There's so much space.
And you gotta think about it. The jet engine hasn't ever really changed. So we're using the same old technology. Why? Because champions in the industry. Think about this. What do you think is the most valuable resource in our solar system right now? Outside of water. You got diamonds, you got gold, you got alternate precious minerals, but wood only exists here on this planet.
Right.
This the only place you can get wood is on this planet. The moon got so much diamonds and gold on it that they planning to travel there to mine it. But somebody already been mining it. It ain't suspicious to nobody that out of all of these planets in this solar system, that you can only get wood here. Ain't suspicious to nobody.
So
He's eating up.
why is it that you probably just answered it. Why would they be pushing us back towards the train? Like why back to the train? Why?
Because you gotta think about it. A high-speed rail system is getting built to connect America to London and wants you to be able to get there in 60 minutes.
Isn't that's an uncomprehendable speak?
Because
Yeah.
let's just put it into perspective. More and more and more, we're seeing things flying in the sky that we cannot control. What if somebody said, look, the sky's gonna be ours, fly at your own risk. You're gonna start building trains.
Right.
Because we can't control what the whole drone thing going on. I'm telling people that it's China, and then China come out and say, we done built a nuclear drone and don't have to land no more. and then they seeing other anomalous objects in the sky. If that's not safe, you got to go somewhere.
Right.
And then you want to get out ahead of it. You want to make the sky look as dangerous as possible. They're going to start begging for a train system.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. This is how people connect, right? When you travel, open up your mind, you connect with other people, you share information. Now we have obviously social media, the internet, right? Now, what's another way to control? Like, if there's no community, if you can't get together with somebody, now you're affecting travel. Now you're isolating people. Now you're like, oh, I'm not going over there. I don't want to go over there. And then now you can't share the codes. Now they can use social media however they want and paint a picture. We got AI now, right? I've seen CCTV footage that looks so real of somebody robbing a liquor store. You don't know what's real or fake. You don't think the media is using this. You don't think like news outlets look for this suspect. How do we know it's even real?
Yeah, Coffee said it was AI that videoed him up there hating when I pushed up on him. And when I pushed up on him, he said it was AI. That's great. The receipts finna drop though. Yeah. Shaq and Kobe is cooking. We got Maverick approach up here.
Yes, sir.
And we gonna get deep though. Pull them grand.
Now, here's one that always not scares me, but it just always makes me a little weird. ChatGPT. I just randomly come up with questions to ask ChatGPT just because I want to see how intuitive it is. And I've getting some of the most accurate, well thought out. You would think somebody actually just typed this and sent it to me. What does that look like in our future? Like, how was ChatGPT going to change the landscape of humanity?
So when it comes to AI and
that's AI.
So overall, I've been telling people this. I have my own large language model myself because I know it's coming. There is a technology tsunami that's about to happen right now. Okay, it's happening right now. With AI, as you're learning from AI, it's learning from you.
Correct.
So this is why they make it what? Free. The more information you feed it, the smarter it gets. Elon said in the next 5 to 10 years, we will have a supercomputer smarter than any human being on Earth.
No, wait, not only smarter, but will it be almost sentient? Because they're asking the computer questions of how does it feel, and it's responding in very interesting ways.
Yes.
Where even the AI, they show the video of the AI start talking together. Let's talk in our language, which is of course computer language, ones and zeros.
Right.
But when as much information as gathering, do you feel like, I hate to scream Judgment Day, but do you feel like we could be coming to a sentient situation to where, again, if I could get an AI video to make me look like I'm knocking down your girl, and then what's to stop someone making like nuclear bombs is coming over from Russia?
Right.
And then not being able to verify if it's real or not and correct the threat. Like, we're only at the surface of it if you look at it.
We have to fight fire with fire. This is why I'm training my AI to detect AI. Because think about this. How do we not know that AI is already not sentient and already taken over?
I mean, it already took over.
How do we not know? Think about it. How do we not know?
We just seen the robot at the crib do some very interesting things today.
Yes, for real shit.
What did Judy do?
Shout out to the homie Rob, right? So we started having a very in-depth conversation about some topics that you don't want to get out about some of the things we talk about today. Very sensitive information. Rob said he looked at the robot and said, "Okay, hold on." He reached over to cut the robot off and sent it back to his charging station. But the weird thing to me was the robot was just sitting right there chilling,
looking at us
the whole time we having this conversation. Rob noticed it and said, hold on. He mute him. And then he tell him to go back to his station. Go home. He won't go home. He like, hold on. He looking at it, he's like, man, he acting weird.
Real weird. Like he was
So
listening.
then I get up, I walk around in the kitchen. He tell him to go home again. The robot goes around, come and look at me, and he just sitting there. I'm looking like, man, why you looking at me, man? You feel me? And so then he had to restart the robot, and then it went back to his charging station.
Spooky times, man.
Dude, hold on. Do any of you have Alexa?
I don't have
No,
Alexa.
no.
I don't have Siri activated.
Hell no.
I would be sitting up in the house and Alexa be like, "Are you there?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
The truth is, AI has already become sentient already.
And here's the thing too. Here's another thing to think about.
Damn, are you there? It's crazy.
If you say the name Alexa, if you say the name Siri or everything else, that means it's already listening. It's always listening. So think about that. It's not just, oh, it just clicks on when you say the name. No, it's always listening.
man, no. I said one time I was like, Alexa, and she was like, yes.
No.
Whatever tone you have, it'll match it. Because I do it all the time. Like,
Really?
when you sleep,
See what I mean? Nah.
Really?
See? How do we know it's not already taken over?
It's already sentient, man.
Yeah, we seen
Terminator,
we seen
Matrix. You know Terminator and Matrix are the same movies, right?
the lady who created the same idea. It is a similar idea. It is.
Yeah.
Matrix being more of a trying to match a
She in
biblical.
my inbox right now.
Oh damn.
We got to interview her.
Yeah, you
She
got to
in my
bring her on.
inbox
That's
right
crazy.
now. She said some of the stuff I'll be talking about. She want to talk to me about it some more.
Yeah, there's more to be said. We've seen video footage of robots, AI robots becoming aggressive, almost bucking at humans.
In China.
Yes, we seen there was a group meeting of a bunch of CEOs or I guess execs. One of the persons pushed the robot down and it got up by itself, of course, as it's supposed to do, and it came like almost aggressively at her to where do you feel, again, it goes back to I forgot the author's name who made iRobot, but it made rules of robots where you cannot harm a human, you cannot self-harm another. It's like 3 rules or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a robot will, if programmed to protect yourself, a robot will technically go after
Somebody
human?
else.
Yeah. Do you feel like that we may get to that point? in time?
Potentially, yes. And this is why, going back to that point where he's knocking over the robots and everything else, this is why anytime I use any large language model, whether it's, Gemini, ChatGPT, whatever it is, I always say, please and thank you. I'm serious. Please and thank you. They remember this shit.
Wow.
Because come one day, God forbid, they really take over on some Terminator shit. They're gonna remember, like, oh, you were the nice one. Think about it. This is why I always say please and thank you. So I commented on that video and I was like, hey, y'all playing, but y'all may wanna ease up because they're gonna remember that shit. You don't think they're remembering? It's a large language model. It's always gonna remember. So
And it's always constantly learning.
Yes.
It's so weird that you say that because like I'm real nice to my Alexa, but Rook will get real rough with her. And I don't know why I've always just felt like, don't talk to her like that. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like one day she might get to tripping. Like, I don't know.
I'm just saying.
So, I don't have none of this shit because how should I say this?
No, listen.
No, also, she won't, like if he talked to her too rough, she won't respond to him. Like, Alexa, and she won't do nothing. And I'll come along and I'll be like, Alexa. And she'll be like, yes.
So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? It remembers. It has feelings. So it's way more advanced than you think. Okay? China came out with DeepSeek.
And it almost crashed the market, didn't it?
And almost crashed the whole AI market after Trump initiated Stargate, which was an AI initiative. They did that on purpose to crash our market, show how powerful they can be without a fraction of what they spent in America, released it, made it open source so everybody can use it, get our information, and show, okay, well, all that money you guys are spending, you guys are just capitalistic.
Right.
They spent $6 million on that.
Right.
That was it.
So, MBH, Maverick, I get your take on this, and again, I just want just to close it out. The human race has been around, let's say a few 100,000 years, let's just say, started with just a few thousand people. Now we have 8 billion people. And you look at it that the plane was just invented in the 1900s. The car was just invented around the same time. The computer was just invented literally about, let's just say 60, 70, 80 years ago. This is very rapid progression. I forgot there was a movie one time that it kind of shows civilization, how quickly it's advancing. How much time, because again, we created the nuclear weapon, the atom bomb, just literally half a century ago. How much time do you feel we have left? Because technically the conversation we're having would be considered blasphemy, ludicrous 200, 300 years ago. 400, back in the medieval times, we're not talking like this. But things have come up so quickly where it seems like we don't have no longer centuries left. I mean, we might be up to we don't have millennia left. We may have just centuries left, maybe even decades based on the way life is progressing. Give me your take. And I'll start with you as far as how things have so far progressed with the human race as of right now.
Well, the thing is this. After Roswell, the crash that happened in New Mexico, our technology took a giant leap. Then, when it comes to having time left, like if you're a religious person, if you study the Bible like I did, they say before any type of cataclysm, we have to have 1,000 years of peace. I personally believe that for our species to survive, we got to become interplanetary. And I think we will be able to do that. I'm going to leave it to Maverick.
Come on. Thank you, BH.
No, either one of y'all can answer because I have one more question.
Thank you, BH.
Damn, where'd it go?
I mean, while you're getting that, I want you to answer what BH has answered. My same question I presented to you.
Yeah.
What do you have an expectation of the human race, and how quickly will we get to, again, because like you said, we're in the year of the, I forgot how you mentioned it, not the awakening, but we're,
Yeah, definitely that. I would say awakening if you want to call it that. But right now we're at critical mass. So what's happening right now with, spiritually, technology-wise, everything is moving faster, like you said, with, AI, we have a whole new financial system coming in. Right now, they have reverse engineered alien technology that they actually filed with the SEC so you can actually invest in a basket of technologies that's reverse engineered. This is going to be on the stock market. So not only we've been interacting with some other interplanetary beings, but now you can invest in them. So I feel like we are advancing in a way to where if it's handled carefully, then yes, then we're on the right track. But I feel like there's always an equal and opposite reaction to anything, right? So with innovation, you're gonna have a whole different group of people who wanna just steal, kill, whatever else, hold back humanity, whatever it may be. But I feel like we need to have these conversations so everybody can be on code, right? It just can't be a small subset. It has to be on a larger scale in order to be better off.
Facts. And last question, if you had the ability to, would you take your consciousness and put it in a robot, or would you want to go calmly into the sky?
So are we talking about what type of robot are we talking about?
A sex robot, of course. No,
are we talking about?
We're just talking about a goddamn computer screen a la Captain America, where your consciousness and all your thoughts will live on forever, and someone could always come back and get your thoughts on things, and you're sentient as far as you could still continue to think.
I would say yeah.
Have you watched Pantheon on Netflix?
No, I haven't.
Okay, check that out then.
Okay.
We'll come back to that. I have one question, and it's funny because Little Duval made a post. He said, "Yeah, I better get all the money you can because it's the last year you niggas gonna be able to make money." I was, and I was like,
Now, why did he say that?
why did he say that? Little Duval of all fucking
Okay, so he may put off to be, who he is, but he knows more than what he's saying. So he's talking about, I think, he's talking about the job market and AI.
Of course.
Okay, so in the next 12 months, AI is going to affect over 80 million jobs.
Correct.
Okay, automation. I did a video on my Instagram to where it showed thousands and thousands of stores closing. Okay, these are major box retailers. They're closing by the thousands, right? So when it comes to automation, if you're not reskilling, you will be left behind. So there's going to be a lot of jobs being taken. I've seen Amazon warehouses being fully automated. I've seen China factories called dark factories towards robots, building other robots in a dark factory because they don't need light, obviously, and they want to cut off the lights to save money.
Why would the human race cripple itself in this manner to where the wealth gap would be so large that it would basically throw us, some humans, into a place of like anarchy?
I feel like it's always been like that. We always had, kings and then peasants. We always had, the rich versus poor and whatnot. So it's a small sets of group of people who own most of the wealth and the power. So again, if we're not careful, these people are going to continue to reign.
Because this is the way I see it, right? And I believe that, but I believe that at some point you would get to, if they don't actually have a floating castle, that the masses would just consume them. Because it just, there's a saying that says, as soon there will be nothing left to eat but the rich. So it's like you consume so much that, and you've left nothing for nobody else, that at some point you've made yourself food.
Right.
So
they always show you, again, going back to I always break down like movies, cartoons, music. So we're headed in a space to where, have you guys seen the old school cartoons, Flintstones and Jetsons? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's happened at the same time. Right. The poor people are on the floor, and then who's in the sky? The rich people. Mm-hmm. Okay, so same thing with Demolition Man. Who's underground? The poor people. Who's above ground? All the rich people. So that wealth gap is happening now, it's further and further.
No fact.
Man, I just, I think it's going to, I just want to see if it turned into like Ghost in the Shell and YNs are hacking robots and. Yeah. Facts.
The next time you pull up to your Taco Bell and AI takes your order, tell them you want a human. We need to keep human jobs.
Yeah. I went to a Taco Bell and ordered from the little screen because they make you. Yeah. And then I watched.
I'm seeing more and more of that.
But check it out. Then a person ahead of me went to the register and got their food before me because they prioritized the human order. They prioritized the mobile order like it's like you coming in to get it, so they don't make it for like 10, 15 minutes. And they make the person who went to the register food right then and there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. With that being said, Maverick, for those who want to, again, follow the platform, tell them what the platform is, how often are you on, and exactly what they're about to get into when they come to it.
Yeah, so Maverick Approach on Instagram, maverickapproach.com. That's my website. You can go there, get all your stuff there. And also on YouTube, you can type in Maverick Approach. TikTok is Mav Approach. On X is Mav Approach. And yeah, you can check me out there. Me and BH got a show coming out, so watch out for that. That's gonna be big. So yeah, we working.
I love it, man. And you're not a conspiracy theorist, but you're
coincidence specialist.
Let's go. You already know what time it is, man. We got him in the building, man. The Maverick Approach. Big homie just walked off. Shout out to CC. And we got to say it, man. Y'all both are some real life street stars. Lego. Deep doop, deep doop.
Shout out Reallyfe street stars, nigga. Move.